Who are these people?
This is a Soviet cartoon from around 1963.
Do
I
we
think it's
have
just
a
called
British, not British, English translation for this? Do
Yes.
we
It's
know the
it's in
title
there.
of it?
English subtitles.
Okay, what's the name of this cartoon?
Africa Story. African Story. I think that's
Africa.
literally all it is. And I have another one called It's Hot in Africa that we can play after this. That's short. So but yeah, it's African, Soviet cartoons. They're pretty good. I suggest people go check out The Message as well. With Herbie Hancock soundtrack. That's excellent. Very good. Literally has no dialogue. But this one, very little dialogue, I think, in this too, right? So
No, there's no dialogue. So
yeah, there's some,
it's very,
I think.
there's some, but I think, but you don't need to know the dialogue to know what's happening. So
Yeah. So if you do read Cyrillic, you're going to be very happy. So, but anyway, here you go. We'll watch this. I thought it was good. So
and this is Soviet Union.
Yep.
Right?
Yep, 1963. So before the wall came down.
Жил черный человек на своей земле. Щедро давала она свои плоды ему, ибо трудился он на ней в поте лица своего, как трудились и отец его, и дед, и прадед.
The art style in this is very nice, in my opinion.
Yeah, very 60s.
Yeah.
Like Peanuts level, old school Peanuts.
I figured since this is already on YouTube, it's probably fine. So,
I'm sure we're gonna get copyright for this.
It's reactions.
Yes. We're commenting on this YouTube. So don't give us a copyright strike for this.
Yeah. Victor the Van, yo, I've seen this. Man, dude's living the life, ain't he? Getting fruits and whatnot. Shit, look at the fucking house. He'd be catching fish. Oh, he's got a pipe too, my man.
It's not weak though.
Раз
Who
на
said?
земле человека появился некий гость.
Oh no. White elephant?
Гость растрогался. Какая богатая земля. Мне чертовски повезло, что я здесь первый из зверей.
You don't want that. Stick to what's in your pipe. Don't do it.
Посмотри, человек, не слишком ли бесцеремонен твой гость?
He eating all your fruit.
А, черт.
Oh.
Пока человек увлеченно приобщался к высокой цивилизации, слон сожрал все, что мог. А так как пошел дождь, то настала очередь хижины. Человек обрадовался, что высокий гость лично посетил его скромное жилище. Но у слона были свои планы.
Ты удивлен, что так получилось, человек? Погоди. Господин слон сейчас тебе все объяснит.
Видишь ли, парень, твоя черная кожа покрепче моей, да и здесь нет места для двоих, так что оставайся там, а я тут. Не скучай.
Miles.
Что тут
You hitting that trumpet hard.
происходит? Спросил неожиданно появившийся лев.
Oh no, not the lion.
Он отнял у меня хижину. Как ты смеешь клеветать на моего лучшего друга? Под суд!
Look at Kit.
Вот ты уже и под судом, человек.
Слово
Oh, Gator's in the chat.
потерпевшему, объявил председатель лев. Господин председатель,
The vacant.
уважаемые господа, я глубоко тронут вашим горячим желанием защитить меня от грубых нападок моего отсталого черного друга.
The magistrate or whatever.
Благодарю.
Financial.
Financial sector.
Yeah.
Not sure about this
Господа,
thing.
прошу,
I think that's like policeman.
будьте снисходительны к
Police, yeah, that makes
бедному черному человеку.
Not
Ему
about
надо
the capital.
терпеливо объяснить,
Yes.
что в обмен на щедрые дары нашей цивилизации он обязан отдать то, что у него есть.
You use our.
Плоды, хижину, землю, а не вызывать возбуждение безответственными протестами.
Irresponsible protests.
Uh-huh. Where have we heard that shit before? Yeah, Elephant is the evil oligarch.
Yeah.
Rhino That's probably a dog. Like a dingo or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Именем высокого и авторитетного суда. Обвинение.
The accusation.
Человек, слушай же решение суда.
Умышленное нападение на господина слона. Присвоение имущества
Violent
господина
assault.
слона.
Uh-huh.
Сигарет и журналов. Виновен.
Elephant was in self-defense.
Решение наверняка будет справедливым.
Попытка вломиться в хижину.
Ведь господа звери известны как беспристрастные джентльмены, издавна самим Богом призваны охранять интересы низших рас.
Виновен по всем
Protect the
пунктам
interests
и
of the lower
заслуживает
races.
самого строгого
Right.
наказания. Но учитывая отсталость и дикость человека, суд считает возможным на первый раз простить его и разрешить ему построить себе
They'll forgive him this
новую
time
хижину.
and allow him to build a new hut for
Вот
himself.
видишь, какие доброжелательные судьи. Сама справедливость.
Shit, look at his hut. He built that quick. Oh, shit. All right, well, build another fucking hut.
Yeah, you're right.
Taxman, maybe? Probably.
Which one?
The little dog.
Что же ты теперь
I
будешь?
think you're right. It might be the
Делать.
police, maybe, or police,
Yeah.
maybe. I mean, it doesn't matter.
It's like
I
a
think
French
it's just
police
how-
uniform.
Хорошо
looks like
еще,
to
что они
me.
не стали судить
So,
тебя
I
за
think, but these are
новые
aspects of
преступления.
capitalism, so whatever.
And it's good that they didn't
Истинно
charge you with a
тебе
new crime.
доброжелательны.
They're very friendly to you.
А может быть, ты действительно виновен?
Maybe you are really guilty.
Виновен в том, что не похож на них.
Guilty of not
Виновен
looking
в
like
том, что
they
это
do.
твоя земля.
Guilty of being the owner of your land. I'll share this in the chat and description below too.
Надо же
So if you want to
что-то...
share this with people like
делать.
RBN or
И человек решил действовать.
no.
Вот вам новая хижина. Одна на всех.
Now, this is a cartoon. Don't get any ideas from a cartoon, everyone. Don't do it. Whatever you do.
Yes, it does. Neighbor.
Yeah.
Very happy.
Still happening now.
Вот теперь...
Дорого обошлось человеку знакомство со звериной цивилизацией. Но зато он многое понял и многому научился.
The end. So yeah, you want to talk about that and I'll queue up this next one? Maybe we can get out of here.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, first, again, this was the Soviet Union back in the 60s. So
60s. We're about to go back to the 30s, you know,
right.
and
So,
see what they thought then.
like, and guys, you've seen like a lot of the old Disney cartoons or even like the Looney Tunes, Warner Brothers cartoons back in the day, you know, and how they depicted Black people back then, you know, like especially given Jim Crow era, you know. So this is like, this guy wasn't a slave.
Yeah.
You know, like, number one, this is based in Africa, but it's not like he wasn't poor, he wasn't malnourished, like
he was living good.
He was living well, seizing the means of production, like happy.
Puffing on his old pipe. Positive. Happy as shit.
Right. So obviously, you know, like the animals, and they were all African based animals. I think it makes sense. Theme.
Yeah.
But you know, they all represented aspects of capitalism that are used to exploit. You know, you could look at it as either people, class, race. I think those are like two things. You know, so yeah, so yeah, so it was. Thank you, Reef, for for showing me that. Like, again, like, you know, so but yeah, but this is like, again, Soviet Union produced this.
Yep.
You know, I don't know if, like, you know, Western cartoons,
right, especially in the 60s,
right, were portraying Black people, especially Black people from Africa, in that light.
No.
So, so yeah, I thought very well done, you know, and honestly, like, if I was teaching middle school, I would show this to my students.
That's
just in terms of like, but I think also kind of taking some of the idea of like, I think we're kind of indoctrinated into thinking that the Soviet Union / Russia is bad, you know, like, I think we generally in the West have been indoctrinated in that way of thinking.
Yeah.
You know, that's not to say there isn't bad things, but, you know, but there are some good aspects, you know, to countries, you know, like that they're able to put stuff like this. But I think given, you know, Soviet Union was a communist country at that time, so, you know, everything, you know, they wanted to put things in terms of from an anti-capitalist standpoint. So it makes sense. But, you know, again, this is, Russia.
Yeah.
That made produced this. So yeah,
now, how do you think Black people were portrayed in the 1930s here in the States? Because that's what we're going back to, the Soviet Union. So,
well, I know here, I'm just thinking what cartoons
were in the 30s.
Yeah, I like the immediate one I'm thinking like is Snow White.
Right.
Like the Disney Snow White.
Yep.
Like,
and like some black and white stuff. Right. Yeah, literally.
Like,
yep. Literally Dumbo with the like minstrel crows. Yes.
Right.
So,
yeah. So minstrel like aspects, you know, like,
and I've not seen this one. So this one could be, I don't know where it's gonna go. You know, if it gets too bad, we'll bail. But, you know, we'll see. History, everybody. Let's watch it. This is titled, It's Hot in Africa.
1936.
Yep. Sergei Mikhalkov. The composer, A. Akskanov. Grigory Kozlov, Boris Yoskin. You know. Monkey. I mean, even if he is a monkey, he's made a hot air balloon and a sailboat, traveled all the way to the North Pole and back, you know? Like...
Right.
Yeah, ice cream's gonna be here. We got it. Monkey, go bring banana ice cream back.
Oh, okay. Now I think I get it. So that's the plot.
Yeah.
It's hot, so they're making ice cream.
Yep. That's it. Like, we have our own production. We can make stuff. We just gotta go get it. Yeah, it's like very basic cartoon plot, you know? Go get the ice cream.
Yeah, I was just wondering what's the connection to like, well,
Africa.
climate?
Yeah.
To Africa.
Well, this could be, you know, hey, come to Moscow, it's cooler. You know? Like, Ooh, burbs. The animation on this is really well done for the 30s. They made it back. Look at him do it. Look at the walk. Yeah, we fucking did it. He brought his little guitar and shit. Like that's like that wide Putin walk he's got going on, you know? Like... Ice cream! Although those wouldn't be in Africa, but, you know. They don't have kangaroos there. Don't drop that ice cream, bro. We went a long way to get that shit. Fucking giraffe. Hope you get brain freeze. Karma, bro. No, gamer, this is Soviet animation. I think the allegory is that the walrus is Russian, coming to help the Africans with ice cream.
Maybe. Probably, yeah. That
I would
makes
imagine. Go up to the Arctic North where we have plentiful ice, you know?
Right.
So,
yeah. So,
but anyway,
yeah.
I just figured that'd be a good way to end things here. So,
yeah, but I think just before we go to end, I think bringing it back to the first segment, this is, you know, African nations now are kind of mentioning this is the sentiment that they have for Russia because, you know, like, you know, given the communist, you know, ideology, you know, Russians have been somewhat, at least back then, supportive of Africa and their needs. And I think just given what we saw in the animation, it definitely kind of reflected that. So it makes sense that Africa has a more favorable reputation with Russia, especially now with Putin, you know, making his offers that he's willing to support the continent. So
yeah.
So I think, I mean, just this all comes to say, you know, just regarding with Russia and Ukraine, it's complicated. It's not as clear cut as what I think mainstream media just often says sometimes. It's just Russians bad and Putin bad. Like, in the same way that people can make the argument here that Biden, he all right. I mean, he does bad things too, but he's okay. Like,
yeah.
Russians will probably can say the same thing about Putin too. And I think, and again, that's not to say we're fans of Putin at the same, but we do it here. If Biden does something worthy of, like praise or any politician,
we would give him that. Yeah.
We will give him that. But right now, there really isn't much, if anything, that I could say for me personally that Biden is worthy of that praise. Considering my connection with Africa and considering knowing people personally who live there still, who I love and care about, what Putin is willing to do for the continent, I think is huge. That being said, though, as I said, ideally, I would love to see it in Africa being risen up to where we saw in the first cartoon. Is that they own the means of production. They didn't have to worry about anybody that were able to handle things on their own. And they have
even in the second cartoon, it's like the African monkey had the ability to travel, make infrastructure for themselves, right? Like they were able to make the product. They just needed the product to make it with, and like once they were given that, everyone was cool. Great. They dealt with their own problems. The little crow tied up the giraffe, like they were good. So, and it took one walrus, not an entire, a colony, not an entire group of colonizers,
right.
to take your wealth.
Also kind of speaks to here that I think, especially with a capitalist system, our spending is so wasteful.
Yeah.
And you can have several hundred people doing the work that would take years to complete. And even when it's complete, it's not done properly or up to code necessarily. Whereas, just efficient, use the people that you need, do it efficiently, do it well the first time, and you don't have to worry.
I also suggest people after this look up The Message by let's just put in The Message Soviet cartoon, Herbie Hancock soundtrack. I can't play it here because it has some nudity in it, so keep that in mind, but not gratuitous, but the Russians were kind of horny bastards back then too, so keep that in mind. But yeah, I think these are good. Share this with your friends. We appreciate you.